We need a new way to use knowledge. And the kinds of ways to use knowledge are going to be ways which respect the kind of knowledge that community groups who are trying to make a better life in their own locations, and academics who are concerned that their knowledge will have an impact on society. That kind of new knowledge partnership is a key factor in the next phase of international development.
There are lots of models around the world of universities working directly with marginalised communities. What we have here is a 9-university model of working not in competition with each other, but in collaboration. And those universities have been committed at senior management level.
And once we got ourselves clear at that level, what we then did was all the institutions went out and discussed with their community partners and potential partners. Some had good links, some had what you might call emergent links, and some had none at all.
Some of the networking events that were held for the project were very interesting in that there was obviously a lot of people who had never even thought that they would ever sort of enter the portals of a university, who were being brought into it from the sort of contacts that were being made.
People often ask, why do universities need to engage with the public? There are different ways you can make the case, really, and I think one way is you can say, well, actually, it's become an increasing policy and funding objective, really, for the funders of higher education. They're saying that engaging with the public in terms of your research really matters, and they're also saying we want an education for young people and for students which is socially engaged.
We really need to be working across boundaries directly with those groups so that we understand their needs and can work with them to produce knowledge in order to solve problems.
Many different forms. This is a particular aspect of it. Higher education institutions have a wonderful opportunity to make a real contribution. They may be one of the largest, relatively untapped resources that our communities have.
It seems like it makes university less of an academic institution that you go there, you go to lectures and you just study. It brings an extra dimension where people are going out into communities, are leaving the university campus. They're not just spending 3 years in a classroom, but actually they're going out actively learning while they're outside of classrooms, while they're outside of lectures, with their own ideas, their own input. So it's empowering the students a lot more. And first got involved in this kind of activity in my second year, doing improvisation and composition classes. And ever since then, I've just been thinking, want to do that more, want to do more, want to do more. So for my future, it'd be really great to do.
I would say that it's an enormous enhancement to the academic knowledge base to work with people in different community settings, acknowledging that the knowledge that they have is of equal value to what happens within the university. It's very much about developing community and about creating a sense of confidence in people. So far, we've run well over 400 workshops. I felt it was very important from the outset to be able to choose people to do the training who came from all kinds of different professions. This is not just for musicians. Academia can be very dry, so it injects something which is very valuable. Potentially it has a profound effect on the curriculum because it takes away this canonic set of values and replaces that with a very human set of values. And I think universities really need that. And that's what comes from the community in terms of knowledge. It's humanizing the
One of the things that comes out of this, there's a potential connection with the curriculum. student volunteering, particularly in the community. And there's potential on the research side to connect people who've got relevant research interests.
I think this equality of relationship between the university and community does much more than boost morale. I think it extends our knowledge base. It broadens our sense of what it is to be human. It actually identifies much more clearly the purpose for which we do this work.
The legacy and spin-off for the SEC programme is really the relationships that have been fostered and developed within communities. And we have now direct links with many community groups, as well as third sector and government agencies.
As a triumvirate of the 3 universities within Hampshire, we've got to know each other much better, and we've got much better contacts within our little regional group. And certainly I'm pretty confident that I could speak to University of Southampton and University of Portsmouth to talk to them about a project that's coming on social enterprise and look at it as a partnership approach to how we would deal with that.
Once you have the relationships, you know, you really need to keep those relationships alive even when the funding is over. We have found that universities that have these kinds of ongoing partnerships are much more successful in getting increased research grants because they've got the partnerships in place.
I think there's a very important philosophical point, which is absolutely this sort of work is what universities should be doing. It's not just about corporate and social responsibility, it's about a moral duty to be working with the communities that we serve.
I think you can also articulate a number of benefits that it brings to universities in terms of how it motivates their staff and their students. That kind of opening up of the university to multiple conversations really profoundly affects the quality of the education. We're really keen to emphasise it's a two-way street. This is not about universities just going out and being charitable. This is about being a better university, and it really helps you be better.